Establishment Democrats start whispering about a 2024 Hillary Clinton presidential run. Hello and welcome to another episode of Thinking Out Loud. Today we're going to talk about one of our worst fears, or perhaps one of our greatest hopes. Establishment Democrats talking about a 2024 Hillary Clinton campaign run for the President of the United States. Twice wasn't enough. She wants to do it 3 times. Oh my God. You know, I don't even know what to think about this one. I got an article here that I've only just kind of glanced through, so I'm going to do some of this reading here for the first time with you guys. Says a perfect storm in the Democratic Party is making a once unfathomable scenario plausible. A political comeback for Hillary Clinton in 2024. How many times has this bitch had a comeback? How many times has this crone had a political comeback? The thing is, it's not a political comeback if you don't actually come back. Like, if you keep flopping, it's just you trying to be relevant and failing. Maybe we should clarify that a little bit. Anyway, several circumstances, President Biden's low approval rating, doubts over his capacity to run for re-election at 82, Vice President Kamala Harris's unpopularity in the absence of another strong Democrat to lead the ticket in 2024 have created a leadership vacuum in the party, which Miss Clinton viably could fill. All right, let's see here. What are the reasons why they think maybe she could run? It says Biden's low approval ratings. Okay. Vice President Kamala Harris's unpopularity. Kamala Harris is pretty unpopular. That's true. But I think perhaps there's probably only 2 politicians that are feasibly more unpopular than Kamala Harris. That would be Donald Trump, at least on the left, or the liberals, and then Hillary Clinton. I'm going to go ahead and guess, lady, that if you ran or were vice president, your approval ratings would probably be pretty low, too. So, all right, going on here, guys. She is already in an advantageous position to become the 2024 Democratic nominee. She is an experienced national figure who is younger than Mr. Biden and can offer a different approach from the disorganized and unpopular one that the party is currently taking. An advantageous position to become the 2024 Democratic nominee. Do you mean that she's in an advantageous position because if Biden for some reason were to step down because he's old and senile as shit, let's be real, I mean, obviously, even the Democrats are starting to realize it. That's why we're seeing this right now. And they realize Kamala Harris is just not going to work. But are you in an advantageous position, Mrs. Clinton? Because you know that if Biden steps down, or Biden and Kamala Harris could sort of anoint you and just be like, my claim is for Hillary Clinton in 2024. Yas, queen. Yas. Is that what this is? Because I can see no other way that you're in an advantageous position to be the Democratic nominee other than they're just going to hand it to you so they don't have another fucking progressive run in 2024 so you don't get a repeat of Bernie Sanders or someone like that. Jesus Christ. And can offer a different approach from the disorganized and unpopular one that the party is currently taking. What the fuck is she going to do that's any different? It's going to be the same thing. To a T. Jesus, man. Already this guy is on one. Want some of what he has. Says here, if Democrats lose control of Congress in 2022, Mrs. Clinton can use the party's loss as a basis to run for president again, enabling her to claim the title of change candidate. God, that's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. So, her whole premise to run as a Democrat in 2024 is if we lose seats. If we lose seats because the Democrats couldn't get anything done, you think they're going to want to elect another establishment candidate? You barely got Biden in because you managed to dupe progressives into believing that you were going to do something. I wonder if this guy's being paid by Clinton. It wouldn't surprise me. She's got bottomless pockets of cash and an ego fatter than my fucking girlfriend's ass. Jesus Christ. All right, let's see what else we got. Based on her latest public statements, it's clear that Mrs. Clinton not only recognizes her position as a potential frontrunner, but also is setting up a process to help her decide whether or not to run for president again. She recently warned of the electoral consequences in the 2022 midterms if the Democratic Party continues to align itself with its progressive wing and urged Democrats to reject far-left positions that isolate key sectors of the electorate. These people don't learn anything. They don't learn anything. They think that it's the aligning with the progressives that is going to cause cute. Oh my God. They think that's what's going to cause them to lose 2022 and not the fact that they didn't do anything because of establishment Democrats like Sinema and Manchin. I don't know if these people are like purposely misleading or if they're just so out of touch that they believe what they're saying. Holy shit. Progressives are the only ones that won seats last time. It's because they ran on real advocacy for working class issues. Did they deliver? Hell no. Fucking pipe dream, man. I wish I was this high. In a recent MSNBC interview, Miss Clinton called on Democrats to engage in quote-unquote careful thinking about what wins elections, and not just in deep blue districts where a Democrat and a liberal Democrat or a so-called progressive, you bitch, is going to win. She also noted that party's House majority comes from people who win in much more difficult districts. Jesus. Mrs. Clinton also took a veiled jab at the Biden administration and congressional Democrats in an effort to create distance. Quote unquote, it means nothing if we don't have a Congress that will get things done, and we don't have a White House that we can count on to be sane and sober and stable and productive. Ooh, them is fighting words, Miss Clinton. A White House that is sane, sober, stable, and productive. Sane and stable probably being a nod at Biden's clear cognitive decline, and then sober? I don't know. My mind just went, is that a jab to Hunter Biden? That's fucking hilarious. God, she has no humanity left in her. She's just all ambition and bloodlust. Holy fuck, man. Throwing Biden under the, that's pretty brazenly throwing Biden under the bus. I love to see that. That's fun. That's fun. Some real dynastic politics. It ain't got nothing on Brutus and Caesar, but boy, would I love to see her stab Biden in the back. Like literally, that'd be awesome. Anyway, guys, let's see. Even Bill Clinton recently set the stage for his wife's potential 2024 candidacy, referring to her in an interview with People magazine as the most qualified person to run for office in my lifetime, including me. Well, Bill had to get his ego in there, too. Adding that not electing her in 2016 was one of the most profound mistakes we ever made. No, it was not one of the most profound mistakes we ever made, but not electing Bernie Sanders sure as fuck was. It's fun to imagine, or depressing to imagine, where we might be had Bernie won. We're not even going to go down that rabbit hole today. We can infer based on these recent remarks that Mrs. Clinton would seize the opportunity to run for president again if an opening presents itself. But what are the odds that such an opportunity will arise? Well, if Biden croaks over dead, it's pretty high. It's pretty high. The Democrats' domestic agenda is in disarray given the failure of Mr. Biden's Build Back Better program in Congress. Senate Democrats' latest desperate push to repeal the legislative filibuster to pass their secondary legislative priority, voting rights reform, will likely weaken their agenda further. Mr. Biden's overall approval rating is low, 40%, as is his ratings on the economy and jobs, taxes, government spending, 38% and 33% respectively, according to a recent Economist/YouGov poll. Nearly 2/3 of independent voters disapprove of the president. That's not a good statistic for you guys that want Hillary Clinton to run again, because 2/3 of independent voters, those are your progressives. Those are the progressives that, they were Bernie-crats. They said, no Biden, Bernie or bust, Bernie or vest. Yeah, that's not a figure that's good for you. Just so you know. Barring a major course correction, we can anticipate that some Democrats will lose important House and Senate races in 2022. They already know. We've been telling you on independent media, the Democrats are going to lose 2022 seats. Big time. They're going to lose big time because they didn't do anything. Tell me, if you know something the Democrats did that is lasting and meaningful and isn't going to be repealed the second that we get a Republican president, drop it in the comments. Tell me something that they did for you. Tell me something they did for you to help you. Okay? Drop it in the comments. I don't have anything. Says we'll lose important House and Senate races in 22 in part for the reasons Mrs. Clinton identified, giving Republicans control of both chambers of Congress. Yeah, because he didn't do anything, and he never planned on doing anything. Biden could have done a whole list of executive orders. He could have decriminalized marijuana. He could have let a bunch of federal inmates out. He could have canceled student loan debt because it's through a federal fucking program. There's a whole host of shit he could have done with the swipe of a pen, and he didn't do any of it. And then all the legislative shit they did not do, they pinned on Manchin and Sinema as if they didn't want those twos to fuck everything up along the way. Polls generally show the GOP with a solid lead of at least 2 or 3 points in the 2022 generic congressional vote, a margin that likely would be enough to take back the House, given the narrow Democratic majority and the anticipated outcomes of redistricting in several states that could affect key races. Yeah, so this is how it works. I just want to stop for a second. I know I'm kind of rattling this off. I'm trying to keep this one short. This is how this works. So I want to just make it clear to you how the system works, why they keep you roped into electoral politics in parties that serve the same corporate interests. Republicans do a bunch of really fucked up shit, because they're the part of the ratchet that cranks it to the right. Cranks it real quick to the right. So then people are like, holy fuck. And then they vote for Democrats because the Democrats run on, we got to get these evil madmen out. Right? And then through one or many means, somehow, miraculously, the Democrats never do a thing. Never do a thing, even though they got the whole fucking House and the Senate and the President. It's impossible. It's impossible because Sinema and Manchin. There ain't no way we can do it. Oh, sorry. And then they lose to 2022. And what happens when they lose to 2022? Okay? Then they don't have the legislative authority to do anything anyway. So all they got to do is fuck around for 2 years. 2 years they fuck around. We say, we just got to make them believe that it's hard for 2 years. And then, once we lose the seats, we can be like, oh, you lost us the elections, guys, so we can't do anything now. We warned you. This is how it works. And then, and then the presidential election comes around, and it's just fucked. This is how we've gotten so far down the neoliberal order the last several decades. Voting for the lesser of two evils, even though neither one is lesser evil than the other. They just put on a different face for different voting blocks. Wake up. Let's do a little more of this here, guys. Given the likelihood that Democrats will lose control of Congress in 2022, we can anticipate that Mrs. Clinton will begin shortly after the midterms to position herself as an experienced candidate capable of leading Democrats on a new and more successful path. Mrs. Clinton can spend the time between now and midterms doing what the Clinton administration did after the Democrats' blowout defeat in 1994 midterms, crafting a moderate agenda on both domestic and foreign policy. This agenda could show that Mrs. Clinton is the only credible alternative to Mr. Biden, Miss Harris, and the entire Democratic Party establishment. What a fucking winning strategy. What a winning strategy. We can anticipate that Mrs. Clinton will begin shortly after midterms to position herself as an experienced candidate. Third time's the charm. Do you hear it? Listen. Shh. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Yeah, Clinton. You can hear it now. You can see it on their little, voter sign, election signs. Third time's the charm. I'm excited for that. What's more cringy, though, in your honest opinion? Hillary Clinton running with the campaign slogan, third time's the charm, or Bernie Sanders cucking himself for a third time saying, third time's the charm? Jesus, we're in a bad straits as working people in electoral politics, aren't we? Let's see, what else do we got here? Crafting a moderate agenda on both domestic and foreign policy. I love the idea of a moderate agenda on foreign policy. You mean more China baiting? More shit like we've done in Libya and Syria? Drone strikes. It's real moderate. Dead children. Starving children. Super moderate, man. It's a winning strategy. This is great, guys. I'm loving this. This is the first time kind of really reading it here myself. So, Hillary Clinton remains ambitious, outspoken, and convinced that if not for the Federal Bureau of Investigation Director James Comey's intervention in Russian interference, that she would have won the 2016 election. And she may be right. If Democrats want a fighting chance at winning the presidency in 2024, Mrs. Clinton is likely their best option. God, I love how they're still doing Russiagate. That's all they got. That's all they got. That's all establishment Democrats got. Fuck the minimum wage. Fucking infrastructure bill. Fuck high-speed rail. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Russia. If you don't do it, if you don't vote for us, the Russians. The Russians. They're everywhere. They're under your bed. They're behind this fucking curtain. In this closet right here. Watch out. But I tell you what, if you get Mrs. Clinton in 2024, third time's a charm, the Russians, you don't gotta worry about them. You don't gotta worry about them. They can't hurt you with Miss Clinton around. Oh, sorry guys, I'm being silly, but Jesus Christ. That's all I have for that article there. Maybe not my best video here, but I just want to read some of that to you. We are so fucked electorally. It's just crazy. I know it's super depressing to think about Hillary Clinton running in 2024 again. God, I want to see it, though. The sadomasochism in me just wants to see her witchy face on the television again. Oh, God, yes. Yes. Something to be excited about in 2024. As Biden continues his cognitive decline into dementia and madness, and Kamala Harris slithers off into the background laughing. Ha, 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 ha. We got our babe, our number one OG, Miss Clinton. Going to be seeing them Democrats through into a new age. This is great. This is great. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for you. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Hillary Clinton running in 2024. Do you want to see it like I do, just for the laughs? Just to see her grasping at her ego, to get that crown jewel in her ego of the presidency. I'd love to see it. Fuck the political fallout when it comes to this shit. They're never going to let us get an actual progressive like Bernie or anybody like that in the presidency. Never in a fucking million years. So if we got to have this loaded horse race, my money's on Hillary Clinton, baby. Oh, yeah. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. But all right, guys, that's all I have for you. As always, it's great hanging out with you, and I'll speak with you again soon. Bye.
Yes, I know.
You know what? Let's give John Boy a call here. John Boy Wild a call here. See what he thinks about Hillary Clinton running in 2024. See what he has to say about this.
Hello.
John Boy?
This is him.
Hey, what's up, man?
Nothing much. What's up?
Hey, I'm on the podcast right now, and I was just wondering. I was reading this article that you sent me about Clinton running in 2024. What do you what do you think about Hillary Clinton running in 2024?
I think the third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm.
Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm.
The charm.
Yeah, motherfucker.
The charm.
Yeah. All right. Fuck yeah.
Yes.